Shalom, shalom. Welcome to our show. Mike Clark and Rabbi David Katz, and we're going to be talking today about www.getsostrong.com. And as always, say hello, Rabbi David.
Hello, Rabbi David.
No, you didn't have to say that. You're talking to the people, not to me.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to. Okay.
At least you listen. Very rare.
Well, most people say I don't listen, so that's what
Right. I know. I'm impressed. Truly, I am. I wish my children were. Anyway. So today we want to talk about something that's very dear to me. And before I let you have it, I just want to give a preference to this. I'm 54 years old. Been through all kind of ministry schools and through the church and all this kind of stuff and all this training and schooling and stuff like that. But it hasn't been to the last 6 months that I truly understand what study truly is. And, you know, the mechanics are there. The books are there. You can go online and study this and read this and read this. But until you're actually taught how to study, Yeshiva style, till you actually learn what Iker terms are, till you start learning the vocabulary, till you start learning all of these little niches that I never knew before. And I thought I was a smart guy before, and I realized how not unsmart I was in a lot of these things. People, Rabbi, really cannot understand Torah without truly understanding the framework of how to approach Torah. And when I say Torah, I'm talking about, of course, the written, the oral, and all of it. So that's one thing I can tell you that I have learned from Get So Strong, amongst other things, is really many people are not ready or truly understand of what study of Scripture truly is.
Right. That's kind of the working definition of yeshiva.
Right.
I know that when I came back to Judaism when I was about 22, and grew up conservative and had bar mitzvah, and then got into teenage life. Figure from 13 till 19, which is junior high school years.
Right.
Then I was gonna have spiritual inclinations around 19, 20, and then by 22, I'm learning with a rabbi, 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. I was living in Cleveland, and that didn't take long before I got myself to Israel, moved to Sfat, and was in the old city of Sfat learning for 10 years. And it was a taboo 4-letter word, the word yeshiva. I didn't like it. It doesn't resonate. It doesn't sound spiritual. I was coming from a place where I thought I was ultra spiritual, and it was going a step backwards to this thing called yeshiva. And it just clicked. I went to Israel on a birthright trip, and they send Jewish kids over for a free trip, and it's supposed to be about going back to America with a little bit of a Jewish identity. But for me, it clicked that it was time to go to yeshiva. And I went and I checked out the yeshiva that I went to in Sfat, and I realized, yeshiva is what I want. It was actually in Jerusalem the first week of the trip that I realized yeshiva was what I wanted. And I don't know, it just clicked. And I think Get So Strong, I couldn't get yeshiva.com as much as I would like to be in the domain,
Right.
or howtolearn.com, but it isn't. And so Get So Strong is really what yeshiva is about. Is you want your soul, it's gym for the soul. It's strengthening your soul, strengthening your emunah. And yeshiva is where you go to learn how to learn. And like you said, you didn't know there was a concept of learning how to learn. And it's a mystery to most Jews what yeshiva is. And I don't expect people to know that. But I guess, let this video tell the story. Yeshiva is the institution, whether in a physical building or online, of learning the tools of how to learn. And you mentioned Iker terms. So Iker terms are the words that you can look up and reference and source that look super obvious or they go over your head, but only when you stop and look it up and have the guts to realize, I don't know what this word means. Every time, and you can quote me on that, every time you reach one of those words, and they're in every article you'll read in English, Hebrew, no matter what language, no matter what topic or genre, there are words that are going over your head. So when you say, you know what, I really don't know what you meant by that, and you look it up, you will find a revelation every time. We're not talking revelation like harps of heaven with Michael and an angel. It's a revelation that, oh man, I didn't realize what that was.
Right.
That's where comprehension and understanding comes down. And that's where your mind starts to pop and explode like, oh man, I get it. I see it in 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional. So yeshiva is the art and the institution of that style of learning. Whether it's scripture, oral Torah, written Torah, midrash, halacha, agadata, even, like we said, English, learning art, reading articles. It's a place to learn how to get your soul strong.
Right. Well, I mean, I think a couple of weeks ago, you did an exercise with me during our study time, and you took an article about trade. Huh?
Random.
Yeah, it was a random article about trade or something like that.
It was a tech article on Google News.
Yes. And, at first you're like, read it, give me your interpretation of it. And I did, and I guessed through most of it because I had no clue.
You would have bet your life on that you're not a dumb guy. And
right.
And if I were to, mock you a little bit and say, like, really, you think you understand it? You would be like, what do you mean? Yeah, I understand it.
You did say that, by the way. You did say that. But anyway, we broke down the article. It was about a 45-minute session. And then as we broke down, and we didn't even cover half of it. We just went through the basic first of copy-paste, looking at things. It totally changed the whole concept of where the article was going. I thought I had an understanding of it. But then when we got through with it, just going through it once, it totally changed the way I understood that article of what it was saying.
Let's do a little live presentation, right?
Right.
Just to show you how it's everywhere. Right now, I'm going to open up my app, Google News.
Right. Oh, no.
It's not playing.
Right. Right.
All right, let's look at, there's a headline for the Washington Post. Once this is over, we'll be kings. How Lev Parnas worked his way into Trump's world and now is rattling it. I'm not interested in that. Are you?
Not really.
Never mind. But learning Torah is not about what you're interested in.
Right.
All the more so if you're interested in it.
Right.
Let's click on it. I wouldn't want to read this, but let's say I have to. Right. Work related. Someone shares it with me. Someone says, "Hey, look at this article I found," and you're like, "I don't want to read that."
Right.
But why don't you want to read it? In fact, what's rule number 1 in Get Soul Strong Yeshiva? Love the book.
Right.
Love the text.
Right.
I don't love this. Why? There's words here I don't know. Yeah. Now, here, I'm going to read it again to you. Once this is over, we'll be kings. How Lev Parnas worked his way into Trump's world and now is rattling it. What's the Iker term?
Trump's world's an Iker term. Rattle is an Iker term. Rattle is an Iker.
Parnas is?
Well, I do, but okay. But
I don't know. That's why I'm not interested. I have no interest whatsoever because I have no anything for Lev Parnas.
Right. So you have to look him up to find out even who he is. Right.
I have to look him up. So I'm going to go now to Google. Lev. This is what we do. Yeah,
this is what we do.
I promise I will get an interest once I read this. Lev Parnas is a Ukrainian-American businessman associated with Rudy Giuliani, allegedly aided in a search in Ukraine. So he's the guy that was helping in the Trump scandal.
Right.
Now, Lev is a Jewish name.
Yes, it is.
And I'm assuming he's Jewish. That's just my own interest here. Yep. So he's working with Jewish charities. So here you got a Jewish guy in the news helping Trump. He's hooked up with Netanyahu. Okay, now I have it. Now I care.
Right.
Now I knew he was Jewish by looking at the name.
Right.
But I'm not assuming he's Jewish. And just anything with Trump. I mean, why would I assume Jewish? It's about Trump, but now I understand some context. Once this is over, we'll be kings. How Lev Parnas worked his way into Trump's world and now is rattling it. Now, do you feel that?
I do.
There's some spice in there now.
There's some spice.
Last Sunday, a New York lawyer posted photographs of the shining dome of the U.S. Capitol on Twitter announcing that he had just visited Washington to give Congress contents of an iPhone belonging to a one-time associate of President Trump's personal attorney, Rudolph W. Giuliani. It would be a few days before the implications of his limited message became clear. The Lev Parnas hurricane was about to hit. So again, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
The week when the pomp and circumstance of the third presidential impeachment trial in U.S. history was supposed to take center stage in Washington. The House of Representatives formally voted to send the Senate charges that Trump abused his office by pressuring Ukraine to help his reelection bid, period. John G. Roberts Jr., the Chief Justice of the United States, arrived in the Senate chambers to preside over the president's trial and the swearing in. This is just one big lead up. But overshadowing that weighty moment was a cascade of revelations by a fast-talking, Ukraine-born businessman sporting an ankle bracelet who's speaking for the first time since his October arrest on campaign finance charges directly implicated the president in the Ukraine scheme. President Trump knew exactly what was going on, Parnas said in an interview with MSNBC's Rachel Maddow on Wednesday that earned the cable news show the highest ratings of its 11-year history. Now, that's one huge intro.
Right.
And remember, part of the book is about knowing where to break down text.
Right.
Now they're getting to it with the quotations. That's the secret that they were trying to keep, he added. I was on the ground doing their work. This is not that exciting.
No.
Fueling his account were hundreds of pages of text messages. I'm going to skip this part, but here we go. Parnas. Now they're finally getting to Parnas. Parnas, with his Brooklyn by way of Odessa accent, has sought to fashion himself as the Joe Pesci version of John Dean, the former White House counsel, who was star witness in the impeachment proceedings against President Richard Nixon, casting himself an avowedly repentant participant in a rogue operation. This is really a pompous article.
Yes.
Extremely pompous article. Where I would want to go from here is this is all about Lev Parnas and his smooth blah, 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 blah. I would want to know, if it was me teaching this,
right,
I would say go to YouTube and YouTube Lev Parnas. And here, Rachel Maddow is where it comes up. So the whole thing is based, now if I'm right, I'm going to go back in time. Apparently, see, that was an Iker term I wasn't prepared to look up, Rachel Maddow. So apparently this MSNBC interview was everything.
Right.
Here it is. Lev Parnas, President Trump knew what was going on. So he's all over this MSNBC show.
Right.
Let's go back to the article. Here it is. So they talk about, again, President Trump knew exactly what was going on. Parnas said in an interview with MSNBC's Rachel Maddow on Wednesday that earned the cable news show, there it is, I missed the term, the highest ratings of its 11-year history. This is one big billboard for the interview with MSNBC.
Right.
That was where, this article is nothing. It cannot top what happened. So if I'm right, and we scroll down, this is nothing more than what went down on MSNBC. See, in interviews, Parnas has said he felt abandoned. There it is. There's the Iker term. It's all quotes. He's burning out and best to stay out of his way, he added. That arrest saved my life. It's all quotes.
Right.
Even the title is in quotes.
Right.
Throw in some Jewish stuff with chutzpah. Brooklyn born over and over again. This is a really poorly written article.
Right.
I tell you honestly, I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents ever, even with all the negativity. Parnas told MSNBC last week, see, I idolized him. It's all about the interview. In his interview with the Post, it's all about his interviews.
Right.
So now that leads to another Iker term. Who wrote this article? All they're doing is chopping up the quotes of Parnas and putting it into an article.
Right, promoting.
It's it. So it's a long article. It's all quotes. Nothing is new here. So this author just took sound bites and fashioned it into a biographical sketch that he's born in Brooklyn, which is another code for Jew, Jewish of Brooklyn.
Right.
And is quotes. Now I could read the whole thing. I'm not going to. So the author is Josh Dawsey contributed to this report. And it looks like it's written by Rosalind Helderman and Paul Sunny. Again, in my opinion, it's a poorly written article, but we got the Iker terms out of it.
Right.
Now, I don't know why it says Josh, this guy Josh. Here, it's written here by Rosalind Helderman and Paul Sunny, contributed by this guy named Josh. My question is, who are these authors?
Right.
What is their agenda?
Right.
Rosalind Helderman works for the Washington Post, reporter focusing on political enterprise stories and investigations. She went to Harvard. All right, so again, political enterprise stories. I'm guessing that's an Iker term.
Right.
I know what investigations is.
Right.
But I don't know what political enterprise stories are.
Nor do I.
So now we would go to Chrome, in quotes, political enterprise stories. And she is the Iker term. She comes up by Rosalind S. Helderman and Rosalind S. Helderman reporter. So this is her world. This thing called political enterprise stories.
Right.
So let's back it up a little bit and just do political enterprise. I don't know what that is. A model of political enterprise. So here's the Iker term. Thoughts on a theory of political enterprise. The political enterprise. It's a huge Iker term, which I have no idea what it is. But it's in her world, it's a thing.
Right.
And this guy, his deal, Paul Sunny, he is about, it's loading. Come on. Why is it going so slow? While it's loading, I'll say, so this is what we would do to get Soul Strong.
And this is what we do.
You take a text, you admit. See, it was very difficult for me to admit that I didn't know what MSNBC was in terms of how they're using it. I know what it is.
Right.
I didn't realize that was the thing.
Right.
Apparently, Lave made a really provocative interview that unless you've seen the interview, you cannot get the article.
No.
So I would have to stop and then go into the MSNBC interview, watch what he said, get all those sound bites,
right.
And now I know what they're talking about.
Right.
They assume that you watched the article,
right.
Or watched the interview.
Right.
He is a national security reporter focusing on the U.S. military. Now, why they collaborated, I don't know. Now you're getting into the politics of Washington Post. Why, what is their agenda? Here he's writing on Lev Parnas again. Now I'm curious, in the article of Nunez aide communicated with Parnas about Ukraine campaign messages, this guy Paul, there he is. He's in it, and then he's with Rosalind again. They work together. So Paul Sunny and Rosalind Helderman work together. Now to really understand, you want to find out what's their agenda to this team.
Right.
In my opinion, a very weak article.
Right.
And they work together doing this genre all the time.
Right.
So Paul Sunny and what's her name? Rosalind?
Yes.
Rosalind Helderman. Paul Sunny and Rosalind Helderman?
Yes.
Okay, so here they're interesting. So apparently they work together on realclearinvestigations.com.
Another Icker
Now
term.
we have a nice Icker.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, here we go. See? So they're a thing.
Right.
They are an absolute thing. Okay, and they're the Inquirer.com has them.
Wow.
They're a thing.
Right.
So everyone is syndicating their articles.
Right.
Anyways, that's my point. And so
Yeah.
once you dig into the text, we learned that MSNBC's interview was an Icker.
Right.
Rosalind is an Icker.
Right.
Paul is an Icker.
Right.
Lave is an Icker. To really get the real guts of that article.
Right.
For whatever reason, in this exercise, the authors are an Icker, and they're really vulgar, in my opinion.
Right.
Because they're stealing from MSNBC's interview in order to capitalize their article, which means that's kind of a low-grade article.
All right, explain vulgar for that. Explain vulgar for those.
Common, not high. It's like you would call a watch like a wristwatch. The vulgar term is watch.
Right.
It's actually a wristwatch.
Right.
The common expression. So they're taking an interview on MSNBC and they're regurgitating it for the masses and for their own whims on Washington Post.
Right.
There's nothing really groundbreaking there. It's just fodder. It's just fodder.
Right.
We assume that you saw the interview, and now we're going to talk about it.
Right.
But I didn't know that. How would I have known that just reading the article?
You wouldn't have.
No. And I'm pretty smart like you. I think I know what MSNBC is.
Right.
And I felt myself say, is it MSNBC? And I ignored it.
Right.
And I thought, no, I know what that is. And I didn't.
Right.
I didn't know it's a specific interview on MSNBC.
Right.
And you cannot get it until you've seen the interview.
Right.
Because then you miss the context of the sound bites.
Right. And
So
this is exactly what we do in study.
That's it. And everything has a story. Everything written, everything has a trail of breadcrumbs.
Right.
And it's designed for you not to understand it unless you unpack the trail of breadcrumbs.
Right.
And that's what we teach is the skills and methodology, whether it's biblical text, secular text, everything has a trail of breadcrumbs. All the more so in the Talmud. There's the rabbinic writings, the trail of breadcrumbs.
Right.
Text missing there.
Right. Even works by the Rebbe and Nachman also that we use a lot too. Have to be dug into.
And the Rebbe sources every time.
Right.
I'm going to teach you how to get the context by digging into the source.
Right.
And so that's what Yeshiva is about. It's learning how to break things down to the nutrient level and locating the nutrients.
Right.
And so I've been away from social media for about a good year and a half. Obviously, I went on a personal journey of weight loss and got married, child on the way, moved to Jerusalem. But we're building a new office in this house where, God willing, today that'll be done. So I'll get back to putting out my weekly videos on video, expanding the YouTube channel more. And I want to let this be known and clear. We're having a limited time membership offer on GetSoulStrong.com, where now you can join the online platform and live classes for as little as $15 a month.
That's the deal.
That's the deal.
So, Rabbi, what do I get for $15 a month, trial-wise? What am I getting?
Month, you have access to the website, which comes with like a Facebook type of plugin for our own online community.
Right.
And live classes Monday through Thursday. American prime time, I don't know where you're at in the world, so I'll tell you where I'm at. It's 9:30 p.m. Israel for me, and also 5:30 a.m. for me.
Right.
So you figure out where you're at vis-a-vis Israel time, and you get as far as I'm concerned, a night class and morning class. And for you, it's wherever it comes out for you.
Right.
5:30 a.m. my time and 9:30 p.m. my time.
What time is it there right now?
Right now, it's 6:15.
All right, it's 11:16 here. I'm in the Eastern time zone in America, so that'll help you figure it out.
And also, for those interested, and I think this is very important, Mike, if you want to go ahead and describe, I do one-on-one.
Yeah,
and
you do.
I think the most growth happens in the one-on-one sessions. And I think not enough people are utilizing the one-on-ones, and I am available. And I think it's what I do best, is take people like Mike and Jacques and the gang, and everyone that you find with a gear knowledge online has come through the one-on-ones. There's nobody that hasn't. If you're going to be knowledgeable about the material, you're going to have to come through the one-on-ones.
Right.
And I definitely have slots available.
Right.
And that's where the real magic and growth happens. How would you describe the one-on-ones?
Well, absolutely, because it's in the classes, which are awesome, by the way, but yet at this time, it's more of a lecture listening. Unless you have an open discussion class, then we're able to ask questions and stuff like that. But on the one-on-one, it's strictly you teaching, and you push us. You really push us. You push to get us to understand. But let me state this first, because there's a lot of discrepancy and lies out there. As long as I've been with Get So Strong, I've never been told to do anything. There's a lot of lies out there that Rabbi tells us to do Shabbos, tells us to do this, do that. I have never been told anything theoretically to do anything within Torah. My job at Get So Strong is to learn, copy, paste, Iker terms. All of these things are over and over and over again. It's not a class where he takes you and tells you, this is how you do Shabbos. This is how you do the feast. I don't think we've even discussed any of this ever. I haven't anyway with you.
What is copy and paste?
Copy and paste is what you do is what you did a while ago with that article. You started into the article, then you started looking up terms and definitions, and then you started, that's all you did.
They copied and pasted this MSNBC interview.
It's a kilometer of a bunch of articles.
You've seen that. Now let's talk about that.
Right.
And I'm the reader saying, I don't know what you're talking about because I never saw it.
Right.
So they are copying and pasting that interview here in this article so we can talk about it.
Right.
And I'm going to teach you, they didn't invent anything here. They copied and pasted or imported it in. And in order to understand it, we got to export out into YouTube and get the interview.
Right.
Everything has a copy paste.
Right.
Everything. It's sourcing. When they source, and here the source was MSNBC. Right. When they source, you got to follow the source and look it up.
Right.
And you saw the copy paste here were the sound bites in quotes. If President Trump said this, Lave said that. Those are all copy and pasted quotes from an MSNBC interview.
Right.
I will teach you how to locate those, identify those, convince yourself that you don't know those when you want to convince yourself that you do. Right. You saw me do it. Yeah. I just lied to myself, convincing myself that I knew what an MSNBC interview was. Right. Because I'm pretty smart. I can figure that out. Right. I can't. No. You'll never, ever know until you watch that interview. Right. So you saw, I literally lied to myself. I felt it in my brain, and I said, no, go ahead. You know what it is. Right. I got to the end and realized, man, I got burned. Right. I don't know what it is. Right. And then when I went to YouTube, bam, there it was. Everyone's searching for it because apparently it's a provocative interview. Right. Worthy of Washington Post regurgitating it and talking about it more. Right. And Lave is revealed in that interview. Right. So whether it's a piece from the Rebbe, a piece of Chazal, a halacha, whatever it is, this technique works everywhere. And all I'm interested in is teaching you how to think and learn and research and look things up. That's what the skills of Get So Strong are dominated on. Right. It's really not a theological school. It's dealing with theologies and how to get to the bottom of them on their nutrient level to find out, basically, ultimately, is this a healthy nutrient or not? Right. Are those? But you saw where I went. Are these authors of the article? Are they healthy? They don't sound healthy to me. No. Maybe they are. Yeah. You know, is this piece of Torah being described in a healthy way? Right. Is it being regurgitated in a healthy way? Are people learning it in a healthy way? Right. We're assuming that once it's holy, it's going to be healthy. Right. Our job is to get it down to the nutrient level and show why and how it's healthy. Right. Okay. I want to touch on this real fast. It's being said out there that you're done. You're basically not interested in Torah no more. To me, I see more of an activation of learning Torah. I see more of an activation with you. I want to share the Torah, but not within the book form, but in life in general.
Get So Strong has helped me when I hear rabbis on Facebook and stuff like that teach things, whether deceptive, whether ignorance, whether know what. Their definitions have changed now since I've been with Get So Strong. Not in a situation that I've been trained to distrust these rabbis, but it has given me the knowledge to start looking up and listening to what they're saying and actually Googling, getting into sources and to checking out what they're saying, if it's actually true or not true.
So let's look up Michael Skobac.
Okay.
Popular non-Jewish rabbi.
Right.
He teaches the non-Jew.
Right.
Let's look at him. And when he teaches, let's see if we understand it.
Right.
Because usually he posts a lot of sound bites.
Right.
I don't know if he's coming up on my Facebook. Can you bring him up? Are you friends with him?
I am not. I got Schulman.
So for some reason, they're all posting his video on the letters.
I know how to find him.
He usually posts like Talmudic sayings, but all I'm getting now is his videos.
Right.
All right, let me pick a different rabbi. What's a rabbi? Can you find me a rabbi teaching on your Facebook?
Schulman does a lot of teaching to non-Jews.
Someone who writes.
Oh, Tovia? Rabbi Tovia Singer?
He doesn't write Torah so much.
Okay.
Let's see here. What's his name? Yosef Sarah something. Sarah Brinsky or something. There, Yosef Sarah Brinsky. Here we go. Fans, Yosef Sarah Brinsky has a lot of non-Jews following him. Okay?
Okay.
He's a Chabad rabbi.
Right.
And here he posted an article in Fans of Yossi Serebrensky.
Right.
This is something that a lot of like my students would read this.
Right.
Let's look in the comments and see if there's any of my students that commented. There's not, but I wouldn't have been surprised if there would have been.
Right.
And I'll share this article with you, Mike.
Right.
Sent. Now, why don't you go ahead and start reading it?
Okay. All right. Shemos, names. A name can be a status builder or a pathway to devastation. Name play are an important role in the way that society defines, relates, and reacts to things. And these are the names of the children of Israel coming to Egypt. Jacob, the man and his household, they came, Exodus 1:1.
So already is a source.
Already, yes. Okay. The sentence can be read as, these are the elements that decimate, the children of Israel, causing them to come into personal or national imprisonment or limitations.
What's the problem?
Well, first of all, in English, it's just jumbled to me. It's a run-on sentence, kind of like.
Well, he says, yeah, that. And the sentence can be read as, did you look it up in Hebrew?
No, I did not look it up in Hebrew.
How can you possibly understand what he's implying? The sentence can be read as, you didn't look up the sentence.
No, I have no idea. At this point, I'm taking his face value of what he's saying here.
Which has no context because I'm not saying he's wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying we have no context of the Hebrew.
Right.
I understand why he wants to say it this way.
Right.
Maybe he's right.
Right.
Ostensibly, he is right. But to get so strong is going to say, granted that he's right.
Right.
We want to understand what he is saying.
Right.
So you know what? Let's do another little game.
Right.
Let's go ahead. Man, you're going to make me get up, aren't you?
Yes.
Come on. This is why I'm getting out of this office. It's too tight. Way too tight. All right, we are in Exodus 1:1.
Right.
Okay. Ve'ela shemos b'nei Yisrael haboyim Mitzrayma es Yaakov ish ubeso ba'u. And these are the names, Ve'ela shemos, children of Israel, coming to Egypt. Jacob, the man, and his household, they came. Okay, it's a very nice translation.
Right.
So this can be read as, and these are the elements that decimate. So decimate, that's right. Desolation is also called Shemot. I know that's sort of Gemara and Brachas.
Right.
So, and these are the decimations, are the things that decimate the children of Israel, is Shemot b'nei Israel. Right, causing them, Haboyim, Mitzrayim, that cause them to come to limitations, which is, Mitzrayim can mean Egypt or limitations. And then what does it mean? Es Yaakov ish ubeso ba'u. Coming to personal. Jacob gave the names with a meaning of. So that's where it breaks down.
Right.
Ilu shemos b'nei Yisrael boyim Mitzrayim. I mean, I see what he's saying, but how do you understand the rest of the verse? Et Yaakov ish ubeso ba'u. So in his article, he's going to continue on that drive. But he doesn't address the end of the verse. So if I were you, his student, I would ask him how he understands the rest of the verse. Because I see what he's saying in the beginning of the verse.
Right.
I don't understand how it works in the end of the verse.
Right.
But nonetheless, I understand through the context now, seeing it, why he was driven to say that.
Right.
And I didn't, because he didn't tell me, well, he actually did. He said, decimate is shemos. But it's in English. And English just doesn't really resonate with me. So I didn't understand what it meant.
Right.
But after having seen the Hebrew, I definitely know what he's talking about.
Right.
I can source it. In Brachas, in the Talmud, it says that word is used for desolation.
Right. So that's what we do. It gets so strong.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it.
The live demonstration of what we do.
Right. And the thing is, and I want to state this again, we are not told what to do. We're not told how to do it. I don't think I've even discussed any halakha issues with you ever. I never, ever. No. So, I mean, that's what we want to promote is learning of how to learn Torah.
And not just, we just did it on a rabbi on Facebook. We did it on a Google News article. Everything can do this.
Right.
There's always a research. And there's always looking it up. And there's always finding the imported text.
Right.
And it's the skills. And in the one-on-ones, it's intensive of getting you how to do this thing. I don't know what you want to describe. I mean, to me, it's called Yeshiva.
Right.
How would you want to say it?
Boot camp. It is a study boot camp is what it is. It's something that we are not used to in the Western way of thinking and understanding. We are taught lecture, listen, accept is what we're taught, especially within our former belief systems. So this good, and it totally obsesses your life when you learn this because you start Googling everything once you do this.
That's it. And we live in a generation where we have smartphones where we can Google everything.
Right.
And you can look it up on the fly.
Right.
And there's, they say ignorance is a choice today.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make you or get you to realize don't make that choice.
Right.
Don't choose ignorance.
Right.
So that's Get So Strong. And look for me to put out 1 or 2 videos a week from here on out now that I'm settled and in my new office, married, everything. And I just can't film in my small office. I tried. It's too small, and I've given up on it. And God willing, today I'll have my new office built. So the classes have been going on. I just not filming.
Right.
And so if you're not in Get So Strong, then you wouldn't know what we're doing. You might think we're done.
Right.
We're far from done.
Right.
we're advancing very much. It's just the social media world doesn't know that.
Right.
And we're putting videos out. Like I said, registration will be $10 a month. Opening it up for the masses, I think it's time to open it up. And again, I encourage you to get the one-on-ones. That's where the real magic happens, the real growth happens.
Right.
And I have a lot of spots available, and I encourage you to take that opportunity. And you can contact me either on Facebook, friend me, message me, write to me, Soul Mazel, SOULMAZAL @gmail.com. Contact Mike. Just contact us. Go to getsoulstrong.com. There's a contact form.
Right.
There's no shortage of ways to get in touch with me.
No.
So get in touch, introduce yourself, come on board, set up a time for learning regularly, weekly, and we'll make it happen. That's
right. And I promise you, it will change your life, your approach on study, and even your approach on life, because our Torah study does not just involve around the written text. And we talk about life too. We talk about in all of changing ourselves.
That's it. We talk about how to bring Torah wisdom into your life and improve your life.
Right. And the people who think that we are done studying Torah, I challenge you to come to our Soul Mazel classes on Monday, which most of the time leaves you like scratching your head because it's so deep. And then our Kabbalah and other things
so
that we do.
That you don't understand it?
No, you got to understand it. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
So you understand it.
I understand it, but you have to. It's not just listening, getting on YouTube and thinking you could just listen, and you have to understand it. I can listen and comprehend, but that doesn't mean I understand it. You understand what I'm saying? But when I get through with our classes, me and Jock sometimes are like, "Was that over your head?" A little bit. So then we have to go back and reevaluate what we're talking about and stuff like that.
But you will get it.
Yeah, I got it.
It's one of my unwritten rules that I guarantee. I always tell people, give it 6 months, you will be proficient. Mike, where were you 6 months ago?
I wasn't. I had thought I had knowledge, but I didn't have any knowledge. Now I feel like I have enough to defend certain issues and to bring up certain issues and talk about things that I didn't know before.
And that's what I'm saying. It takes 6 months.
Right.
I believe you can do anything in 6 months.
Right.
I got my weight off in 6 months.
Right.
In 6 months of yeshiva, you will be good to go.
Right.
Be strong, independent, just proficient in many, many things. You give this program 6 months, you're good.
Right. And before we go,
you're never done, but you're good.
And before we go here, don't look for your teaching sources upon Facebook and YouTube. We use YouTube as an aid to get you into class. Facebook is not the place for study. I mean, it's a good place
I'm done with Facebook.
Yeah.
You will not find me on Facebook. You will not find my my Rabbi Torah stuff on Facebook. Facebook used to be good for that. It's not.
Right.
I know, Mike, you're there.
Right.
This interview will be there.
Right.
But I will not be there. I'm there just for social, family, diet, fitness. That's what Facebook is.
Right.
It's not a Torah venue.
Right.
We have to get Soul Strong for Torah, and that's where I belong in my Torah study.
Right.
It is not for Facebook. It's
right.
Too argumentative, too hostile, too controversial.
Right.
And a lot of it used to be good for that. It changed.
Right.
And that's why we have Get Soul Strong. We built our own community that's built like Facebook, but it's private, it's secure and positive and upbeat and without drama.
Right.
And that's where Torah thrives.
Right. That's it. So
and now that I do my health and fitness on Facebook, that's what social media is for. And there's no drama and there's no bickering and I don't get negativity back on it. Even though people may disagree with my approach, it's just not hostile.
Right.
And I refuse to put the Torah into a hostile environment ever again.
Right.
And Get Soul Strong is not hostile. And if there are hostile people in GARE movement online, and those people are not on Get Soul Strong.
Right.
You will not find them there.
Right.
There is zero drama, zero tolerance for drama. And not that I'm going around with a stick and kicking people out. It's just that if you want drama, you're not going to find it there, and you will have no reason to be there.
Right.
So if you want Torah without drama, that should be our party line, Mike.
That's it.
If you want Torah without drama, hostility, chaos, confusion, come to Get Soul Strong.
Right. www.getsoulstrong.com. Check us out. And Limited entrance fee, and let me go ahead and squash this one too. He's not making millions off this website. I've heard it said before that it's all about money. You get so much more in learning for the little bit that you put up. Squash all the stupidity. Squash
the
it.
money for the registration is to pay the Get Soul Strong bill.
Right.
Is hosting, web work. It's all the money. It's a non. Oh, by the way, we are a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So the money is all tax deductible, and it is the engine of the nonprofit.
Right.
Right. It's not a business or a company. It is
Right.
nonprofit, and the funds go to perpetuating the website and the cause itself.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, there it is above my head. I ain't going to say it again. It's right there. Check us out, and maybe I promise you won't regret it. Say goodbye, Rabbi.
So that's it. And again, look for us to make a new push on YouTube with videos coming out once or twice a week, at least once a week, hopefully for twice a week. And do not look for me on Facebook, but look for Mike on Facebook. And
I'll be there.
For me and everybody, look for the movement, so to speak, to manifest itself back on YouTube on I think it's called the Get Soul Strong videos. I forget what's the channel called?
Mazel. So Mazel.
Soul Mazel's the old channel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But the new channel is private.
Yeah.
Let me see real quick what it is.
I can post copy in the comments if you want me to, a link.
Yeah, like I said, most of the videos are private.
Right.
And I'm gonna make it less private. I Get Soul Strong. So that's why I have the channel, but it's just not. It's called Get Soul Strong Videos.
Right.
So join the Get Soul Strong Videos channel on YouTube. That's where we're going to put the new videos.
Right.
The Soul Mazel channel exists.
Right.
But the new stuff will be on Get Soul Strong Videos.
I like the old stuff too.
I will share that with Mike Clark now.
Right.
And then you can put that on the link.
Right.
All right.
All right. So check it out. Give us a chance. And if you're truly serious about studying Torah, I promise you won't be disappointed. I promise.
All right. And let's get after it, guys. I want my schedule filled with one-on-ones because that's where the real leadership happens in Ger.
Right.
So get yourself hooked up in the one-on-ones and let's go.
Right. And also, too, we will be having another website to tie into everything we're doing here to put out so people can find us also. It's not out there yet. I promise you it will be very soon. So, all right. So thank you so much. Until next time, y'all have a great week. Thank you.